Hi, my name is Maria. I'm a guest today at Coffee Weekly, and we're gonna talk about time manage and a lot of odd stuff. And today I'm with,
Hendrik, it's a pleasure to have you here, Maria.
And my name
thank
is
you.
Sheldon. We never organize this, so we always jump over each other to present ourselves, but this is fine.
It's spontaneous.
Yeah, actually, this was the topic from a previous episode. If you should check out if you're listening to this one. Lastly, we are here with.
And with me, Otto. How are you doing, everyone?
Nice. Okay. To kick this off, Maria, maybe you want to introduce yourself, like with a few sentences, what you do and how you manage your time to get this conversation started today.
So I'm currently full-time content creator. So I produce content for me and other brands on YouTube and Instagram and starting in TikTok as well, because all the brands don't want creators on TikTok. So it's kind of a bummer. We can talk about it, but yeah, I'm there as well. And I think that I learn with all this journey, it's that time management, it's so important in our life. And it's so hard when you work for yourself and you don't have like anyone to report, like you don't have a boss, you don't have someone, even in the same level of work, you don't have anyone to share like what's going on or like decisions, marketing decisions and stuff. So it's hard because it's easy to you to look to yourself and say, I'm not gonna do this today. It's too hard. I don't know how to start. So that let's stop a little bit. And then when you see it's a month has passed and you didn't anything about it. So yeah, I started studying this a few years ago because it changed my life. I was like doing and growing anything. So it's really important to have this kind of discipline. But it's so weird because everything that I just say, I 100% agree, but in the same time can be really toxic because when you start to like doing your on your own, you don't have work hours anymore. Everything is work and you're like so focused. So yeah, it's a weird like balance to find. But yeah, I think I managed to understand now, but I'm not like so sure.
But that's very interesting because I think it's like the comment saying that everybody has to go, like you want to be your own boss. It's like, it's gonna be the best. Nobody tells you anything to do anymore. But then as you say, once you're there, you're like, oh shit, now it's only me. So I have an interesting question for you. So if you could choose now that what you do would be you self-employed doing what you do right now versus you could do the same content as part of a job, would you do it from a 9-to-5 job?
I think I would, and would be easier, at least in the beginning, because it's so, I don't know how to say, it's lonely, because it's for me, I feel lonely for two reasons. First one, because I work alone. So I think for everyone starting a business will be this way. But the second of all, it's I feel like I don't have many people to talk about my work because it's a new thing. So I have a lot of people, friends and family and people that love me and respect me. And they look at me, so you don't work, you're just like joking around on internet. That's not really work. And then you stop, no, but it's, I have income, I have a lot of stuff. This is work. I work like 12 hours a day sometimes. And the person is like, really? What do? You're just always smiling and being beautiful on internet. That's why they say, oh, you're cute on internet. That's it. So so like
I think maybe if you could share, like, because of course like people see your videos and they see your posts, and I hope on TikTok you're not dancing, but
no, I'm
could
not.
but could you explain, like, I mean, what is the process if you have, like, let's say one video on YouTube? What is like all the things behind the scenes that people don't see?
Oh, I think for a video, most of my video is like 10, 15 minutes. And it's for this time video, it's like 2-3 days of work to time,
Wow.
10, 15 minutes. Because the process is, I know that people have different niche, different like subjects to talk, and this is will determine how difficult it is to produce. My topic, it's about living in Ireland, being an expat person. So everything it's in Portuguese, so it's most for Brazilian or people who speak Portuguese. But it's like the 101 to move to Ireland, like the first steps. And then I started to talk about like hard stuff, like how is the process to buying a house? How is the process to pick a mortgage? How is the process to like drive in this country? All the rules. So I need to study for like very like serious about it, because if I say something wrong, people are trusting in me. They will do wrong procedures and everything gonna fall apart. So I'm really like worried about saying really right stuff, because it's about law and about procedure. So it's, I need to have like my facts really checked. So the process is, first thing, I will search on the internet if have some team that everyone is talking about or viralizing and stuff. So I will like search about this, and if this subject it's possible to merge with my content about art, living art and stuff, I will try to merge, because I can get some track with this like a strategy. But then if anything it's upping on the internet and it's possible for me to use, I will just search inside my present followers. So they talk to me all the time. The inbox of my Instagram, it's impossible to answer, because it's hundreds of messages every single day. So I
Wow.
stop time management stuff. I stop like 1 or 2 hours a day to respond just the questions in my inbox Instagram.
Wow.
And it's impossible to answer everyone. So I just make peace of it. So yeah, so in this moment, I found a lot of like the doubt of everyone. And I have a lot of questions that repeat themselves all the time. So, oh, this is an important thing. I need to explain about this. So it started that. I have a team now. I need I have like a subject. Now I need to search about it and go in the law stuff and find what it's important to say, what it's not. Then I will write everything, the whole script, it's ready. So now I will prepare myself. I need like to fix my hair and all the appearance stuff. And then I need to, and this is really important, because the color of the clothes I'm using, it's sending a message. The background, it's sending a message. Everything it's planned to be there. Nothing, it's like, yeah, everything needs to say something. Even if it's like, say, oh, I'm a really organized person, you can trust me. I'm really serious about what I'm saying. Or no, today it's gonna be like a really entertainment video. So I will be more relaxed in my clothes and in everything, you know, it's everything, it's sending a message. I know it's weird to say that everything it's marketing, but it is, because I'm trying to like make you feel comfortable when you're watching me and trusting my information. So it's a mix of signals and everything all the time. And so I prepared that, and then I have like lighting stuff that I need to organize, camera stuff, and I need to have like space on the drive, space on the memory card stuff. Everything it's pre-organized, and then I will record. I will record, for an example, 40 minutes for use like 10 minutes. And this is one type of video. In Portuguese, we say it's a to help video. It's like when produce content, it's doing information that people will search, like how to do this, how to do that. It's a really strong one on the internet as well.
In IT, we used to call this type of content how-tos as well, right? So you write a how-to. usually I've seen this on documentations in on companies I worked for, like how a directory of how-tos, and then you have like a list of things.
I mean, yeah, there's a mix between like just documentation, as in like a, you know, like an encyclopedia. So you just have like a list of things, or guides on how to do something. So
yeah,
it is there.
Yeah, I talk a lot about guides as well, guides related to Ireland. So I recorded, it's ready. Now I need to like reorganize all of this stuff again and put it in the like proper places. And then it's the time for editing. And when you're editing, what you do, you need to fix the colors, because sometimes the shadow and stuff, it's not so good. So you're gonna balance the color grading. And then you need to cut all the, I'm gonna say this in English. I need to cut the parts that when I'm not talking.
Oh,
and
yeah. So
sometimes I cut even the when I'm reading, you know, when we're talking and then you read and talk again, these little parts you cut everything out. And it's weird to say, because it's like 1 second, like half in a second you're cutting, but in the end everything is going to be more dynamic and more easier to watch if you don't cut. So it's important to cut everything they're not using, and the timeline of the video. So after I do that, I will like, editing a video for me, it's not the most fun part, because I get uncomfortable with my own voice, because I need to watch that little video like 100 times when I'm editing. So it's like, and in the end, I hate the video, I hate the content, I hate everything. I already saw all the things that I could do better, and I'm angry with the thing, you know. And I talked to some creators, and all of them, it's like, oh my God, it's exactly like that. We hate the video in the end, and when we post it, everyone loves it, and we're like, oh, okay, so it was good. Oh, thank God.
Wow. I mean, so that was a very, very long list of things to do. So for anyone considering if you want to be a YouTube content creator, it is a bit more than just jumping and smiling on the video.
Yeah. And you can do simple versions as well, because sometimes, for example, this is one type of video, and I didn't mention about the thumbnail, because thumbnail, it's almost the most important thing in the video. The colors that you use, the expressions that you use. I go to conference about this all the time. And last year, no, before the pandemic stuff, they did like a VidCon conference in London. And I went there to like study and learn. And they were like, more than almost everything about your video being watched for someone will be about the thumbnail, the words that you use, the expressions. And the guy was like talking about the biology thing, that you see a scared face, a smile face, a sad face, and what this calls on you, and how this will trigger you to make you click and watch the video. So it's science like all the way. So being making a really good thumbnail will take you like 3, 4, 5 hours at least.
I mean, that is more time, and that all for like I mean 10 or 15 minutes video. So like the ratio is like 1 to, I don't know, what is it, 20 or 30 to produce a video. So that's very interesting. But then the question is, because I mean, you have to produce quite a lot, right? You have to be always on, like you post stories, you post on YouTube, now you say on TikTok as well. So I mean, how much days a week do you work? How long do you work to be able to fit all that stuff in?
So I think that I'm learning this year and last year, it's to reuse some kind of content. So this I had some kind of difficulty doing, but now I'm more comfortable with. So if I have a subject to say, I know how to structure this subject to speak on YouTube, and I can talk about the same thing, but slightly different for our reels on Instagram, and the same thing is likely to use for TikTok and all the way. So when I do this, it's so much easier because I already study everything I'm gonna say. It's fresh, and I can like joke around with the different pieces of content. But if anyone is listening to us right now, it's like dreaming of start produce content. Don't be like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. It's so hard, because you can start easy. You don't need to start like doing so like hard things like I'm doing. You can do vlogs, and I do vlogs as well. And vlogs is so much like relaxed, because you just like recording a journey. When you do a vlog, it's like, oh, today I'm gonna do this, and then you record you going and you're doing, oh, now we're gonna do this. So it's kind of easy to build your storytelling, and maybe it's nicer if you start with this. It's another way to do it, YouTube, and it's really 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 easier than the other one. So yeah.
Or for everyone else, I mean, Hendrik, go ahead.
Yeah, like Otto, go ahead. Otherwise, afterwards, I'll have a question for Maria.
I mean, what we're doing is also, we were thinking, I mean, if you want to do a podcast, we are all very considerate with our time, because we already have a lot of side projects and work and stuff going on in our lives. So we thought, what is like the minimal input we can do for the most output? So literally the only time we spend is in a Zoom meeting that we record, upload to YouTube. And we have my sister who does the thumbnails, which, okay, it takes some time for her. But yeah, our ratio is almost, I mean, maybe 1 to 1.5 or 1 to 2. And also you were saying about reusing content. I think that's a big factor of like, if you're, oh, come on.
Yeah, I think before we started this podcast, I had a chat with Maria, and she kind of like gave a consultancy for us to build this thing that you are watching right now. And then like because I had so before this, like 12 years ago, I recorded a few podcasts in Brazil, and the person that I recorded to is listening to this podcast right now. So Helson, please leave a comment. So those podcasts we were so I was responsible to cut the breaths, so the breaths intervals, like Maria does. And I remember like this alone was already a nightmare. Like I would spend hours and hours for one episode to cut the breaths, and then I would send the raw, like now it's not a raw file anymore, like the post edited for him, and he would put like sound effects, and this was already like hours and hours. And funnily enough, like the blog is still alive, and there was a raw file from I think 2012 that he finished editing like last year, I believe, and he published. He was like, okay, I'm gonna publish this. I know it's a 12 years old podcast episode, but it took so many time that I'm gonna post this anyway. But I'm mentioning this story just to tell, like, because something can be really, really time consuming, but then you can not worry about like too much professionalism and do something like for fun, like we are doing with this podcast. And then we can cut some stuff that consume time and have something like you said, like the ratio from production to having the product is almost 1-to-1. But you're saying something when your phone rang, Otto. You want to finish what you're saying?
Yeah, it was not really that relevant. But I remember, Hendrik, you had something.
Yeah, thanks. Maria, you've been telling in the beginning that you're working both for your own brand and also managed brand by other companies. Now I'm curious, like, if you feel comfortable talking about that, like, how do you prioritize in which area you put your time, and also which cash flows are available, and how do you manage the time for each cash flow that you have? Or is there no prioritization? It's just coming.
Yeah, no, it is. I think my biggest like mistake when I was starting a few years ago was that I was like, oh my God, I cannot put my whole energy in just one social media, like one, like for instance, just on Instagram, because if some things go wrong, I cannot like mix and max where I'm going. And this was so wrong, because it is impossible to start everything at the same time, because everything is new and you're gonna like do things will take like so much more time that it's needed to be, because you're new on this stuff. So if you're starting just one platform at a time, will be really, really easier. And about the two type of work, like I could produce content for me and for other brands. The thing is, some brands, they need someone to produce the content of their product for their platforms. For example, you have a product, but you don't have like filmmaker skills or editing skills, or you don't know the trends on internet, what go virals and stuff. So it's possible to hire a person to do everything for you. You just like give them the product and they do everything. And my face sometimes doesn't appear on it, just my hands, and sometimes even my hands appear. So no one knows that I did and the brand is using. So it's like, what is it? Oh, you are on the, like, okay, I got it, Otto.
Otto is distracting Maria on the video.
Yes.
Yes, it did something like that. I was like, what is happening? Yeah, but yeah, so it's a really good way to like have income in the beginning if you have the skills, because you need to do good videos for the brands, so they will not hire you. But it's like, it's an easier way to start because you don't need followers. It's really hard to get followers in the beginning. And you will like have straight money, like really, it's really like you do a contract stuff. It's like a freelance thing. And it's really nice to have income in this way. But the other way is produce content with a brand for my platform. So it's like they pay me to speak about their product. And this is really, really like, how can I say, tricky, because it's like the ugly part that people sometimes don't talk about it. I received some propositions about products that I really don't have the courage to respond. I think 2 years ago, a brand sent me an email about, let's collaborate together and work, and that's nice and all. We have this product. It's for losing weight, and it's really good, and you should like talk about it and stuff. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't talk about this like beauty and body stuff. Maybe if you find other creator, will be like more appropriate for them. And they were, no, we're like really wanted to grow in Europe and stuff. Let's do it all. And my income would be like 2,000 euro if I did like 2 videos. And I was like, okay, but I have no interest on it. I was explaining this to them, that it's not good for me, not good for me. And then, and I think it was our last meeting, they were like, because we were like stalking our pictures on your platforms, and you are really a skinny girl. You are exactly what we need. So if you posted that you use our product and you're skinny because of it, we're going to sell so much, please. And I was like, what?
Yeah, this is not very ethically correct.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, and happens all the time. And happens all the time. I don't know if people like are aware of it. For me, it's normal to reject propositions, but sometimes like I'm thinking if people know how weird it is sometimes. And then you have a lot of nice company there, they like really know your work, because when a company wants to hire you, they need to know your values as a person. They need to know where you stand like politically, because if you say something wrong, it's their brand that it's going down with you. So it's like when they know how you like, they know your personality, you see, okay, this is a serious brand. You know, we really like the product. So yeah. So a list of possible incomes is, first of all, if you do like content for the brands, and then if you do content with the brands on your platform, but then you need to have like a number of followers, they will be interested. And you can sell info products, like I don't know if I can say this in English, info product. I don't know if it makes sense.
I've seen, yeah, I think I've heard this term in English.
Oh, okay.
Well, speaking of time management and the time we have remaining on this. So I think to summarize the question that Hendrik had to you was that, of course, like each income has different, well, rules to it and different implications. So of course it's more lucrative money-wise to do something for a brand, but it will not build your own brand. And then you have the mix between mixing brands, which is like has some implications on your message. And of course, like you have to choose like which one would you do. So if you could have like in short to explain to us with all these options that you have, how do you decide which of these you prioritize over the other?
I will prioritize the theme that I'm using, the subject that I'm using on the platform at the moment. For example, if I do a lot of projects with brands, I will like make my followers be bored and tired. So if I have a big like campaign happening, I will try to put a lot of free information, like free content, like with value for my followers. So it will be like a good mix in my page, you know. I have like something paid, something not paid, something about a product with a brand, something with really value for them. So this is really important because people will get, oh my God, you're just doing marketing stuff all the time. Where is the content that we love? So I prioritize them first, my followers first. But obviously, I will look for the most like the big income at the moment, if it makes sense with what I'm doing publicly. You know, I cannot just float everything. So yeah,
okay, so it's
a balance.
It's like a mix, diversifying, but also still optimizing for income while ensuring that your followers are not bored or anything. I mean, that kind of makes sense. It's you're maximizing both ends while ensuring it's very nice.
Yeah,
maybe
you're
if I
juggling with a lot of plates, like there's a lot of plates and you're juggling.
So maybe
and for stabilizing income, it's YouTube. If you tell me right now you can do just one thing and stop everything else, I will go with YouTube, because the old videos that I did like 2-3 years is giving me money like right now when we are talking. You know, YouTube, it's really good because you have a video that you did like 5 years ago and you're like gaining every month with this video. So it's really not YouTube. It's like my #1 priority. And if I stop everything, I will do YouTube like forever. Like, yeah.
But that makes sense. It's like things you do once and you invest in them and they serve you for the future. So that's very nice. Yeah. Maybe Sheldon, you were saying juggling plates. So what are the plates you juggle and how do you juggle them?
Yeah, so I want to answer that with like a wrapping up message. So I want to give like one time management advice, and if you want to wrap it up with your time management advice as well. We talked in the beginning about having an accountability partner, but I don't want to talk about this one. So I'm going to talk about another one, which is related to the way that I work, because my work is I work for a company, but it's not 9 to 5. I choose the time that I work. I have to work 8 hours in a day, but I choose the time that I work. So because of that, I have a lot of flexibility, but then I also need to have a lot of discipline. And I struggle with it a little bit in the beginning. And I read some books. Atomic Habits is right here. And I talked a lot with Maria because Maria has a lot of knowledge on time management. And we started building some strategies, for example, having a to-do list for what you're going to do tomorrow, the day before, or even the week before. You could plan your whole week. And then you do this planning and you convert this planning into time blocks on your calendar. And then your calendar reflects what you're going to do. So this is where I am right now in time management. It's my biggest advice. Do this is really good. Yeah. So Otto or Hendrik, maybe to have something to share.
Okay, I will go first. So for me, it's basically the most important thing to cut out the stuff that is not important. So for me, it's for example gaming. I'm spending a lot of time on gaming, and I sometimes think like if I wouldn't be playing games, like what successful person I could be nowadays. We don't know. Maybe we will never know. But yeah, I think it's about prioritization because time is short for everybody. There's actually a very good quote in a computer game that I play, and one of the characters says like, it's not about how much time you have, it's about how you use it. And I think it's so true. I mean, basically for everybody, the day has the same amount of hours. It's just about how we spend them and if we spend them on something meaningful. And yeah, Otto, how about you?
That's very short and concise, but that makes a lot of sense. So my strategy is a bit more vague. It's not very specific, but that is also because my time management is not the best, to be fair. But I remember giving a talk about how to forget things and still get them done, where I use the same strategy of like having a calendar with things like somewhat time boxed and reminders. And these days I don't use anything anymore. And I do forget some things, but I optimize for my well-being. So that is my personal goal. And then I see what are the things they contribute positively, like playing music and I don't know, going out and having fun, meeting friends. What are the things that take away, like they don't charge my batteries, but they take away energy from batteries. And I simply try to minimize those and optimize the other ones. So for example, I mean, I try to have some kind of music going on every single day. And of course I have some, I don't know, paperwork that I have to do. And I'm not very good with it. I tend to push things until there's like, until to the deadline. I procrastinate a lot. But I was thinking about the risk. What happens if I do this later? Will it be very, very bad or not? And based on that, I would see, okay, is it worth doing something good? Is it positive? Increase that time. If it's like less, try to find a way to make it less. So I have to do it, but make it efficient. It's very vague, but that's basically how I do it. And that's my closing words. So think about what's important to you, what makes you feel good, and maximize it. Your last words, Maria.
So I think it's really, really important. I learned this like 2 years now, and it's taken me a time to realize that it's important to have a way to manage your time and a way to manage your information. If you try, and when I was trying to do both in the same way with the same tool, everything went messy. So today, the way that I manage my time with the tool that I use is Google Calendar. And the way that I manage my time, my information is when with Notion, I don't know if you guys know. So it's really important. Do you have like a second brain? It's a really like famous term right now, but it's like you organize your information and manage them between you manage your time. It's a really good way to stay organized. Don't lose your focus, your like goals, what you want to do, and everything that urgent that it's not. And then for finalize, it's really important to you to have like a day or some hours to revise the last past days. Because it's in this moment that you will understand, oh my God, I'm like wasting time on this. I can do this way. Okay, amazing. So when every Friday, I stop to analyze the whole week. And every week I'm like, oh my God, look, it would be so easier if I, for example, did this first, I did this in the other day, and I will like gain a lot of time. So it's perfect if you have like it's not time, but the eager to do this, because it's like chef kiss. Yeah, it's the secret.
For the people that are that know agile methodology, this is very similar to having a retrospective. So yeah, it's really good. Yeah. Thank you very much, Maria, for sharing your time with us. It was really interesting. And I think this is gonna sprout several other themes for other episodes. So I think we're gonna see Maria again here. Nice. Yeah, thank you. And you want to say our final words, everybody? I'm saying bye.
Yes, I'm gonna just say have a wonderful day and be considerate about your time. Everyone has the same amount of time, 24 hours. Nobody has more or less. And be wise how you spend it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, it was a pleasure.
Bye.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. It was really good. Bye bye.
Bye bye.